Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Panther Pod. Today we are joined by a very special guest. We have Chapman's very own local activist, Michael Carl Daniels.
Hi, David Jensen. Thanks for having me. You look beautiful.
Well, thank you for coming on, Michael. There's no one more beautiful than you.
Oh, David. Oh, David.
So today I want to talk to you about your time at Chapman. You've definitely made a name for yourself. I think that's fair to say.
I'm glad. I didn't have many intentions going into Chapman, but I was hoping that that'd be someone to know, I guess, maybe by the end of it. By the end of my long time here. So that makes me happy.
Well, yeah. So I guess one of the big things that everyone knows you for is your activism. But why don't we step back to before Chapman? Were you always politically active, and what were your inspirations for getting into politics and political opinion overall?
Yeah, I think I was always like a very politically minded and motivated person ever since I was like a kid. That's mostly to do, I think, with my dad, my family. And I mean, he was just very well read and kind of instilled that in us, in me and my brothers. So it just kind of fell into line like naturally once I got old enough to actually like do things. I did a little bit in high school, not much. Worked with like a local Black Lives Matter chapter in high school a little bit, stuff like that. But once I got to college, even at the beginning of college, like I didn't do a ton, but I sort of fell into it with SJP, and I'm glad that I did. It just was kind of the natural thing for me.
Right. So, would you tell me a little bit about Chapman's overall culture when it comes to political views and political activism? What were you seeing before you really made an impact? Were other people taking stands? Was political activism a popular thing on campus?
No. I think that like it's hard to sum up exactly Chapman's like it seems like the student body has kind of a I don't know like a copacetic I don't know if that's the right word, but they just don't really care. People don't really give a shit by and large. And that's just the culture like of the student body. The administration I think has like active and vested interests in certain things, and they have a pretty vested interest in like stifling activism and ensuring like it doesn't happen. I think like before the encampment, which was like the first big like form of activism I did at Chapman, like I don't remember a lot. I don't remember a lot of protests. I don't remember like if it was happening, it was easy to avoid. I think things changed with the encampment, but I think by and large the student body is like pretty indifferent, really care.
And how would you say Chapman's administration, you were saying they were kind of opposed to all of these things and almost suppressing political activism?
Yeah,
Do you think that was happening before SJP?
yeah. I think we know it was happening before the encampment. SJP's been around since at Chapman since like 2018 or something, and it was happening to them. I think during like the rising of like Black Lives Matter in 2020, like after the George Floyd protests and stuff. I'm sure there was a stifling of activism during that. Although I can't attest to that because I wasn't around or doing anything then. But the administration, like, absolutely, it's not even like like they do have a interest in stopping it, and they don't want it, and they don't at least in like leftist activism, they're not interested in seeing on campus.
So we've been talking a little bit about saying SJP and the encampment. I think we should
Hmm.
take a step back for everyone watching who wasn't around at Chapman 2 years ago. It was 2 years ago.
20 yeah 2024 or spring 2024, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
why don't we take a step back and you tell me what was going on? Tell me what SJP was or is and what the encampment was.
So SJP, like I joined SJP basically as the encampment was starting. I remember we were chalking in the piazza, um, whatever, like fuck Israel, like from the river to the sea, like, and I just was around campus while it was happening at night, and like I kind of I met some people that were in SJP, and then they told me about this camping trip, and I was like, yeah, I'd love to go camping.
So what
Um,
is SJP though,
oh,
first off?
Students for Justice in Palestine. That's just a student activism group focused on Palestine, the issues that are facing Palestine, and Yeah, I mean, it's one of the biggest clubs at Chapman. I mean, for a while, I think it was the biggest club or had the most membership. So that's SJP.
Yeah.
Um,
And then going into the encampment or the camping trip.
the camping trip. I mean, do you want like the story of the
Yeah.
encampment? All
Tell
right.
me the whole thing from the beginning.
I wasn't there to like set up the or not. I was at
The
inception.
planning.
I wasn't there for the planning so much. That was more. I don't really want to name drop, I guess, but that was more the people that were already in SJP and the leadership there. But I was kind of drafted into this, and like it was we met at 4 a.m. At there used to be a Hoots Wings parking lot off of Chapman, and I was the first one there, and I didn't know anybody, and I was like, oh, no one's coming to this. I just got like pranked hard. But then a person showed up that later became a friend of mine, and there was like, before you knew it was like 30 people that were, ready to take a pretty big risk.
And what were they trying to accomplish at Chapman?
They were trying to force the administration to divest from the military industrial complex. There's a lot of ties that our university has to Israel, to the military, and we wanted to cut our university. A lot of universities do, maybe almost all of them in the United States have ties to the military industrial complex.
Are these ties just stocks? Are they endowments?
They're mostly through through stocks, through investments, and like through I think 401k like funds and stuff like this. Also programs like there are programs with like Raytheon and Boeing that people can take internships and they work with Chapman. So it's not like directly like, oh, Chapman's like handing money to Israel. It's not so simple. But any tie to that place and that ideology isn't okay. Any tie to like a war mongering machine is not okay. Like we're here to be educated. We're not here to support any government or any like foreign government or any business like that. Like it's just not. We want to be educated. Money should be spent on us. And I mean that was the fear, right? It was also about educating too. I think probably the biggest accomplishment of the encampments internationally and at Chapman was educating people on like what it is, like what Palestine is and what the problem is, what's going on in the region, what the genocide is, how long it's been happening, all this.
Right. Yeah. Honestly, I had no idea what it was until the encampment. So tell me a little bit more about the encampment. You were saying that you guys all met in the parking lot at 4 a.m. And then tell me a little bit about your experience at the encampment itself.
Yeah, we met then and we got on campus probably by 5 and then set up all, right outside Oliphant by Memorial Hall there. And I think overall, like, I wouldn't be here right now. I probably wouldn't know anybody in this house or like without the encampment. It was probably, not probably, it was the like best thing that I've ever done at Chapman, like by far. I never had like more fun. I never felt more welcome on campus than when the encampment was going on. And it was like, I wish there still was something like that. Like Chapman to me, and I think for a lot of people, was like a place to go to my class and then I go home. Like it's not a very inviting campus to like be around and hang out. But the encampment was totally different. And it was amazing. Such a good community of people, such a blend of people, all working towards like the same goal, ideas being thrown around constantly, hot food, like people were donating, the community, it was amazing. Like we would get to donate like 2 hot meals a day, and there was always like drinks and snacks and stuff, and like it was just a great place to be, and I was there every day, people sleeping there. It was awesome.
Can you give a couple more anecdotes? Because I think a lot of people thought this was kind of an extremist movement. At the time, I think a lot of people were scared, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's important to humanize student activism.
Yeah, I mean, encampments aren't new, right? Like there was encampments on campuses protesting the war in Vietnam. Like it's not a new idea, it's not a novel idea. And I think like to think it's an extremist idea, if people have that thought still, is I mean to me it's like from my perspective is crazy. Like really all it is a group of people who are very passionate about opposing genocide. And like if
That's crazy,
right, if opposing genocide is like this crazy take, then like we're living in a world that I don't want to live in. So yeah, if that's extremist, like then call me an extremist. But I mean that's essentially what it is. Like even whatever your like political views, like I feel like people should be able to agree that like my university shouldn't be supporting that political action in any way. In any military political action, why is a university supporting that? It makes no sense.
Right. I mean, these are for higher education. It's not for
Yep.
profit and it's not for war.
Right.
So now, would you tell me, why did the encampment stop and what's happened with Chapman University's administration since?
So it's unfortunate that it stopped at all. It stopped after about 2 weeks, because we were ending or nearing the end of the semester, end of the school year, really. And we like struck a deal with the administration, and the deal was like, we're going to get to pitch our divestment proposal to the board of trustees or the board of investors. I think we went past, I think there's a board of trustees and then there's a supplemental board of investors. And we're going to get to pitch to them like why you should divest and like how we can reinvest and like what to do. So we took that deal. The encampment stopped before graduation, which I think they were worried about. They didn't want it on campus for that. I mean, it was so funny. Like they would do the tours, right? They would not go by the encampment. The tours would
Really?
always go around and like, yeah, it was hilarious. But so yeah, we got the deal, and then we spent the whole summer. There was a ton of groups of like research teams building this like very robust, well thought out, whatever you call it, a divestment proposal. And then start of the next school year, one of the first things that was done is we sent some people in, pitched this proposal. They were supposed to consider it. They were never going to consider it. I think within that day it was already denied. And again, this is not like, hey, you should do this and like leave. It was like, here's like a big like, here's the proposal.
Read this.
Here's the proposal, here's our speech. We brought in someone who had family in Gaza, family members that had died in the genocide, and nothing got through to these people. Like it didn't matter. They made up their minds well before we came into the room. And since then, the policy has gotten, like, their attitude towards us has gotten more like hawkish and more like, you can't. They're trying their best to silence protest and anti-Zionist protest on campus as much as possible. I remember we were going, before we went into the summer, we were like, hey, we said to Strupa, if there's going to be any changes to any of the free speech policies on campus, like, we want to be involved. Like, we want to know if it's happening, and we want to have a say in like what you're going to change. So we were worried that they were going to like take away the ability to protest, take away the ability to have an encampment. Even saying that, out from under us, they created these new policies, this amplified sound policy, which I got a conduct violation for using a megaphone at a protest. And these like, you have to like reserve spaces. They're so anal about like what spaces you reserve, and it's all for SJP. It's all for any sort of leftist activism. Like, there's been plenty of examples of amplified sound on campus. Like, even just using a speaker is amplified sound, right? It can fall under they keep the terms broad so they can just apply it where they want.
Right.
It doesn't matter. If it's SJP, it's a problem. So they've been very like, they're cracking down on us as much as possible. It's definitely gotten worse. And yeah, it just made Chapman not a very welcoming environment for just a lot of different people. Just, they don't feel comfortable being around it, and it's like really like authoritarian, like as authoritarian as a college administration can be. And nothing, Strupa was a self-proclaimed Zionist, and he's gone now, but like, I mean, I think he's in Israel now, or he's doing some teaching stint in Israel at some point. But now we have Parlo. I never thought anything would change with that. It hasn't.
Has it gotten worse?
Yeah, only really because it's the natural progression. Like, it just felt like yeah, it's gonna get worse. I mean, at least Strupa like was stupid enough to sometimes like bite back, and like when we got the Martin Luther King Award, to like send to take it from us, was like just a crazy like it was stupid on his part, really, because you're drawing attention to something that probably nobody even knew about.
Yeah, I haven't heard about this. Would you tell me about that?
I think it was Wilkinson College or some people in Wilkinson, the Peace Studies Department, I think, gave SJP Martin Luther King Jr. Award, whatever it was for, just for like our activism on campus. I don't remember like the stipulation of the award. And that was great. We accepted it in some kind of ceremony, and like a few days later, I guess Drupa heard about it and was like sent out an email to like everybody, um, trying to save face because I'm sure somebody at the board of trustees was like, "What is this?" Um, and he sends it out. They not only is he condemning it, he's taking it away from us, and he's like acting like him and Martin Luther King like are buddies, like they were thick as thieves, like somehow. Um, and he's like, this is not what Martin Luther King would have wanted, and like this is not what he stood for. It's like, what the fuck do you know? Like, um, yeah. So that was just hilarious and pretty stupid on his part. But that, yeah, that was. And Parlo is just hands off. Like he just the environment has been created to stifle activism already. So they've yeah. It's
Well,
already-
what would you say about more recent events with the Meet the Heroes event?
Meet the heroes, bro. That was so awesome. Weren't you excited? Were you not excited to meet the heroes? All my favorite heroes were there. It's crazy. What a crazy concept. These people who like were in the IDF who like which the IDF is an organization that like kills babies like routinely. It's like, oh yeah, come to my panel of John Wayne Gacy and Jeffrey Dahmer and Ted Bundy. Like, are you excited? Like no, I can't believe you would let those people on our campus. That's insane. And call them heroes. So, like we had set up a protest, or SJP did, and we had to reserve the space, and we did. And at the last minute, like the day of, they were like, "Oh, you can't actually do the protest.
What?
You actually can't do it." And
How can they do that?
they were like, I don't know. Well, they can do. Here's the thing: they can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
The the policy is the policy. Again, they keep things vague so that they can just move it around, even if it wasn't vague. I mean, what are like
Right. They just
we
send the cops in
it,
and it's over.
send the cops in, or just say no, you can't do it, and if you do it, we're going to give you a conduct violation because like in the rules, if we say you can't do it, you can't do it. Like you're like disobeying us, private school. Like what are we going to do?
Right.
Like we're beholden to them to some extent. So yeah, they were like, oh, can you, they wanted us to do it in a classroom, like a whole protest in a classroom. So
Is it the
ridiculous.
whole idea that people see it?
Right. And so credit to SJP, like SJP was like, no, we're not gonna do it. And it was SJP in a club called Jute. I don't know if there was any other clubs involved.
What's Jude?
Judaism on our own terms. It's a Jewish life club on campus that is anti-Zionist and like just more welcoming place for anti-Zionist Jews who feel ostracized by every other Jewish club on campus, basically. So it's a place for them, and they often work with SJP, which is great. And we just went ahead and did it anyways. And I think like the Meet the Heroes, it at the last minute, the event, which we know to be called Meet the Heroes, was changed to Holocaust, like the Holocaust Remembrance event at Chapman or something. They just like put up these posters like the day of.
Why do you think they did that?
Well, it's trying to frame it like we're protesting, like remembering the Holocaust, and like it's like yeah, like we're like pro Holocaust, which is insane, an insane take. And so yeah, they're trying to make it look like, oh, see, these people like want to deny the Holocaust, like look at them. And that was done, apparently it wasn't sanctioned by SSI to like put those posters up and rename the event because Max Wiseman, who is the president of SSI now, DM'd the Jute Instagram and was, because Jute made a post like, look at how like crazy these people are. They're like changing it from Meet the Heroes to Holocaust Remembrance to try to put shame on us and like try to throw flack at us.
And they're doing that to another Jewish club.
To another Jewish club. Yeah, it's not about Judaism or the culture. Like it's about like Zionism and playing dirty like that. For them, it is. And so they made these posters, and then Max Wiseman reaches out to the Judaism on Our Own Terms Instagram and is like, hey, somebody that isn't affiliated with Chapman anymore, like, put those up. It was not sanctioned by us, by SSI. I don't really believe him.
Yeah.
But I think he was at least smart enough, Max Wiseman, not a very wise man, was at least smart enough, at least wise enough, to understand that it was a bad look. And he was like, can you please, just Jute was condemning the move, and can you please take the post down condemning the move? And Jute was like, no, you did that. And so yeah, apparently it was put up by the former president of SSI, who was also there, who like
Allegedly came back.
he flew in, he took a flight to come in and go to this big. Oh, you must have really wanted to meet those heroes. He was just on the, he was begging to meet them, couldn't wait. But yeah, no, so like, I guess it was unsanctioned. But yeah, that's how that event went, and we had way more people at our protest than they did at their stupid event. Which oh yeah, the other thing is that it was supposed to be a free event, and so what we did was we just, like, a bunch of people just bought a shit ton of, or claimed a bunch of tickets, and we were just not going to go, and just claim all the tickets so no one can go. So they gave all the tickets back, and then they made it $5. So we didn't want to give them money. So they got to have their little event, but it was funny. I mean, get fucked. Like, you lose, like, we won. But yeah, I mean, the fact that those soldiers were on the campus at all is like a pretty distressing thing. I mean, imagine being like a Palestinian student, and you've got like people that have like joyfully killed Palestinians, most likely, in an active genocide, on your campus. Like, that's, yeah, I mean, that would be like a nightmare scenario, I think, for anybody.
Right. So you're leaving Chapman, and do you have any concerns for the direction that the administration and the school's headed in?
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna continue like this. It's just becoming harder and harder to protest and to educate people. Um, it's
Well, one thing I just want to point out is I think there are a lot of ideas about you as a person, and you coming onto this podcast, I think people can see that you're not a malicious person. You have beliefs, but you're not this outrageous person that some people might make you out to be.
Do people think I'm an outrageous person?
I don't know. I would imagine that people on the other side of
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. I don't even know if like they know really who I am. Maybe they do. I hope they do.
I think everyone knows who you are. That's my understanding of the school.
That's great. Good. I mean, I don't want to be friends with them. Like, I don't want to, like, I'm not here to like make friends with Zionists. Like,
But I guess what I'm trying to point out too is you're a rational human. You're not you're not whatever some people might paint you out to be.
I appreciate it. Yeah. And I think, I mean, if that goes for me, like, I can sometimes be bombastic, I think is the point. Like, I can be pretty abrasive. Like, I'm not afraid to, like, there's a lot of like pussyfooting around the issue on campus, and like people are like, yeah, it's bad, but I don't want to say anything because of like my career prospects, like especially at Dodge. Like, it's a lot of like, yeah, like, if I say anything, like, I could not get like a job later or something. And for me, it's like, if I'm gonna look back at my life, even if I like turn out to be successful, and I'm gonna, like, if I don't do something about it, and I'm not on the right side of history, like, I'm gonna want to kill myself. Like, could you imagine, like, after this hopefully is all over, like, looking back and being like, yeah, I kind of dodged the issue and like didn't care about it and didn't do anything, and like, I don't want to do that or be that. But yeah, I hope that I come off as somewhat rational, and I'll tell you that most other people in SJP that I've known are even more rational than me, and are, a little bit more maybe level-headed. Like, I'm usually prone to like want to action and want to like uh, do another encampment right now, like whatever sort of ideas. Um, but if I come off rational, then everybody else should come off just as rational. But it is the rational conclusion. You can look up a million videos of people in Gaza being blown up. Like it's called the live stream genocide for a reason. Like you can watch it live, and it the evidence couldn't be clearer. There's maybe nothing in history that's more clear. Like there's terabytes and terabytes and terabytes of evidence of how horrible this thing is. So yeah, it's maybe I'm only rational because that just is the rational conclusion.
Yeah. Well, outside of this, want to segue into you outside of just this. You're also in a band,
Sweet.
right?
Plug my band?
Yeah, let's talk about your band a little bit.
Dude, Monarch. Yes.
How did that come to be?
Let me plug the Instagram.
Go.
David, I gotta plug it.
Please.
Who underscore is underscore Monarch without the horrible voice crack. It's me, Scott Tucker, Lamar Goss, Brennan Valdez. And we play music sometimes, and we're gonna record music soon. It's fairly new, so there's unfortunately, nothing out.
You guys really just started this year, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we started playing shows this year. I think we started like rehearsing and making music last year. But that's been a lot of fun. I mean, I've been in choirs like my whole life. I used to be the president of the U choir at Chapman, and yeah, I do stuff outside of the activism thing. And that's been a lot of fun. Excited to record music, excited to play shows. Just be in the arts of it all. Hopefully you're gonna produce a music video for us soon. That would make me just so happy, David. But yeah. That's been fun. Lots of good stuff in the works.
Sweet. Anything else you want to say about the band, or just that more music's coming out soon?
Yeah, more music's coming out soon. I don't know. I wish that we had music already released, but there'll be an album one of these days, I'm sure.
Bet. All right.
What else?
I think that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for coming on, Michael.
Of course, David. I was so happy to be here. Any time with you is time well spent.